All right, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the pre-stream. Welcome. I'm jumping right in because today I got quite a lot to talk about. Some important stuff to discuss, and I hope that you guys are ready for a fun full day of streaming after the pre-stream ends. Of course, we got some unique stuff going on today. Today is Monday, the 9th of August, 2021, and I am Darkside Phil. I welcome you here to my full day of gameplay streaming. 2 gameplay streams today, both of which are going to be new, interesting stuff on the Xbox Series X, which is what you guys have been asking for from me for quite some time. And now, this freaking week is going to be amazing. This week is going to be full of Xbox Series X content. In fact, if you can believe it, the only thing this week that's not on the Xbox Series X that I'll be playing is Street Fighter. Literally everything else I'm playing is Street Fighter, or excuse me, is on the Xbox Series X besides Street Fighter. It's pretty intense. So this is pretty cool. Let's talk about that. Let's get that out of the way so you guys know what's happening here. The first stream today is the first ever stream of the Medium. I have played this game before, but only in very brief compartmentalized sessions. I played it for about 45 minutes in a variety stream that I did over the course of the last week, and then during the marathon that I did on Saturday, I played it for about an hour. So we're essentially in kind of the intro segment of the game, and I'm excited for it because it seems like a pretty unique game, having the 2 worlds going on at once on the screen at the same time, having these elements of puzzle, oh, there's a stairwell in this world that's open but blocked in the other, so separate and go investigate one world and then try to open up the way to go to the other world and find an item here or there that carries over. Seems pretty interesting. So far, anyway, again, I've only played it for about 2 hours or so, but I'm really liking the game so far. It definitely has a supernatural feel to it. I mean, being that it is dealing with ghosts in the afterlife, obviously, it's going to have that. And you guys know that I like that kind of a vibe, a game where you don't know what's going to happen or what's going on, and there's supernatural lore and stuff. Pretty neat. So I'm looking forward to that very much. But later tonight, the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time is going to be determined by you on this first stream. Because there's 2 options that what we can play. Either PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Battle Royale, which I have returned to after many years away on the Xbox Series X, and it's actually playable now because there's literally no input delay or lag. It runs at full 60 frames per second. Even though the controls are still kind of clunky, it's actually a playable game, which is shocking because I played it for 6-8 months when it was released originally 3-4 years ago on the Xbox One, and it was such an abysmally bad experience back then. Like, seriously, it ran like duty. So to play it now, it being almost a playable game, much like it has been on PC all along, is a pretty different experience, and been pretty exciting. Checking it out, a couple of times that I have, okay? Now, the other option is something completely different. The other option is Halo the Master Chief Collection multiplayer. Now, I've not played Halo multiplayer in a very long time. I mean, Halo 5 was the last time I touched it, but I couldn't even tell you the last time I played it on the regular. The cool thing about the Master Chief Collection is it has a variety of Halo games spanning from 1 to 4. Personally, I only play 3 through 5, or 3 through 4. I'm not going to be playing the older ones because, a modern Halo game is just not going to play like 1 or 2. Very outdated. But the reason I feel that this is interesting is, number one, because I haven't played it in so long, okay? And so jumping back into it, trying to get myself readjusted to this kind of gameplay style in this universe is interesting, to say the least. But also, Halo Infinite is coming out later this year. And this is a good way, I feel, that maybe if I'm playing this, say, maybe once a week, it'll give me a little bit of background, so when I jump into Halo Infinite, I'm not going in completely cold and not really remembering anything about Halo and how to play it. Instead, I'll have this background in Halo so that I can jump in at least a little bit of a better level. You know what I'm saying? So, what would you guys want to see later tonight is the question. I want you to think about it. Do you want PUBG or do you want Halo Master Chief Collection? During the course of this stream, at some point, likely later on in the stream when there's more people on the stream, I'm going to run a poll. And you guys are going to vote on what you want to see on the late stream, and whatever you vote for is what we're going to be doing on the late stream today. Okay? So, you have the power to determine what we do later tonight. Pretty cool, huh? Now, I am off from streaming tomorrow after a 6 straight day streak of streaming. Finally, tomorrow is my day off of the week to spend with my wife. Unlike last week, we're hoping we do not have a bunch of stressful, annoying shit to do, and we actually have a more relaxing and fun day, I hope. We really need it at this point because we really didn't even get one last week. And so I will not be here, and I hope that you guys will have a good day away doing whatever it is that you do. I hope that you're safe and have a good one. And maybe if you want to get caught up with all the stuff that's been going on here with me over the last week, you can check it all out right here on DSPGaming on YouTube. Or you can check out the new episode of Feasting with the King if you missed out on it on Saturday's Marathon. That's live over on the King of Hate Vlogs. Okay? And then I'll be back on Wednesday. And starting on Wednesday, we continue with this crazy Xbox Series X pattern. It's going to be Fallout 4 on the main gameplay stream on Wednesday, where we're going to be continuing on with the Honest Hearts DLC, which I started up yesterday. And then the night stream will be more of the medium on Wednesday night. Thursday, we are trying out the open beta for Back 4 Blood, the new game from Turtle Rock Studios, the same guys who made the original Left 4 Dead over a decade ago. And this is basically the spiritual successor to those games, okay? Then on Thursday night, I'll be doing a late night stream of Last Stop, the narrative-based choose-your-own-adventure game from Annapurna Interactive, which I played about 2 hours of, and I love the game's writing. It's absolutely interesting, a very unique plot, but the writing itself is quite ingenious and funny, and I can't wait to get further into that game on Thursday night. Friday, it's going to be a fun session of Fallout again. We're going to end up wrapping up the Honest Hearts DLC and moving back into the main game. And at this point, we're actually heading almost into the end game of Fallout New Vegas, which is, you know, cool to see because there's going to be big, important choices to make, right? And then on Friday night, it is my weekly excuse me, I screwed that up because Fallout is on Saturday. Friday is the premiere of Hades, another new release on Game Pass, if you can believe it. Hades, the roguelike game that came out last year on PC, and everyone absolutely said this game is amazing. It's an incredibly good roguelike game. Actually, some people even said it was Game of the Year last year. It's finally coming out for Xbox Series X this Friday, and I'm checking it out on Game Pass, alright? I'm not committing to doing a full playthrough of Hades simply because I don't know if I'm going to like it, and I don't know if I'm going to want to commit a lot of time to it. I've actually heard it's one of those games, because it's a roguelike, it can take you a very, very long time to beat. Okay? But I hope that you guys will check out my first stream of it on Friday, and we'll see together. Do I like it? Is this something you guys want to see me play more? Is it something that I want to play more of? And we'll go from there. Friday night is old school Street Fighter fun, the one time a week that I play old school Street Fighter. And then Saturday will be more Fallout New Vegas, paired with, well, here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen over the course of this week. Allow me to very briefly explain this. I have the past 2 pre-streams, but let me just do it in a nutshell. This week is a very important week for me, because over the course of this coming week, I need to raise as much as I possibly can via tips on my streams to pay my bills, all right? Within the next few days, I've got condo dues and my internet bill due. After that, I have to raise enough money to pay my mortgage on the 15th. In addition to that, right after that, on the 18th and 20th, I got 2 more big payments, both utilities, okay? I get paid by YouTube on the 21st. So if I can make it to the 21st, paying all that other stuff, I'm in the clear. But essentially, I need to raise enough money to pay all what I just described via tips in that short period of time. All right? What I'm hoping is that long term, over the next few months, with all the new releases coming in, we're going to get more people attending the streams, more people supporting the streams with memberships and super chats and tips. And overall, hopefully, I'm going to get back to the level where I was on Twitch, possibly within the next 6 to 8 months. I know it's going to be a slow build. I know this is not going to be an overnight thing where, oh my god, immediately Phil blows back up to where he was on Twitch and all that. It ain't going to happen, okay? But if you guys support the streams, please in the next week tip me. I need that support to get by and pay my bills, all right? Now, if everything goes well this week, and if I hit the tips goals for all my streams, then I should be in the clear and be able to afford everything, and therefore, Smooth sailing. We'll just do a normal streaming week, and this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, etc. will just be regular streaming days for me with double streams and all the like. But if this week does not go so well, all right, and for some reason, certain streams I'm not hitting the tips goals and I'm behind and it doesn't look like I have enough to pay my mortgage, etc., I'm going to do a special event on Saturday where I'm going to be likely doing a marathon of Fallout New Vegas, which would be good because essentially I will be trying to get further into the game and maybe get into the end game of it. After I finish Honest Hearts, we've just got kind of follower quests, the very end game choices, and then we've got Lonesome Road, which is the final DLC before I actually beat the game, doing the final Hoover Dam segment, okay? So, we'll see what happens this week. If things go well, then don't worry about it, but if things aren't going so well, then probably Saturday is going to be a marathon of Fallout New Vegas and a fundraising effort to raise enough to pay all my stuff so I can get by until I get paid by YouTube this month, all right? So we'll see what happens. I can't promise you what I'm doing this coming weekend until we see how the week goes and go from there. All right? Fair enough? Now, by the way, that's all up in the air. I don't have to do Fallout again if you guys are tired of it. I don't think you are, though. Every time I play Fallout, people come out and support the streams. So I don't think you guys are tired of it. And in fact, I think you guys have really enjoyed how lengthy this playthrough is. I mean, I'm almost 80 hours of gameplay and climbing because this game is so lengthy when you add in the DLCs. It's been a ton of fun. And the other thing is, I feel that Fallout, it's the kind of stream where we can relax and have a good interactive time. It's about, like, you know, watching me play something that you know I like, that you know you're going to enjoy, and it kind of brings out that positive vibe. You know what I'm saying? Well, we'll see what happens, okay? Anyway, let's see how the week goes. So that's the deal with this week, ladies and gentlemen. If you contribute in any way, shape, or form on today's stream, I'm going to give you a shout out. Whether you become a channel member, whether you do a super chat or super sticker, whether you tip me, that's what I'm all about. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have any partnerships with anyone. I am 100% crowdfunded. So, I appreciate every single contribution that comes in because they keep me going. As long as you're in line with the rules of the stream and you're not trying to say anything derailing or insulting, you know, something nasty or negative, I'm going to give you a shout out to say thank you for every single person who supports my efforts to keep doing this. All right? Matter of factly, I need help with tips. If you can tip me today, rather than maybe supporting in another method, I would ask that you do. I do need that level of support today if you can. How do you tip? If you look at the description of the stream, there's a link in the description that brings you right to my tips page, or you can type !tip into the stream chat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is something very important I need to mention, so please listen up. All right? If you're going to tip me today, you may have noticed something, and I want to make it for 100% transparency and clarification purposes. I want to talk about this up front. All right? So please listen up. This is important. All right? Here's the deal. Right now, PayPal has decided to increase fees. This just went into effect this week. I did not know it was going to affect this week, but it did. Behind the scenes, and it's been affecting me, and I did not even know that. All right? I didn't even know until a viewer emailed me overnight and said, "Did you know that this happened?" I was like, "No." Oh, shit. So here's what happened. PayPal has increased their fees for any transaction on PayPal from 30 cents per transaction to 49 cents per transaction. Okay? So just to give you some perspective, if you used to just tip me a flat $1, I basically made about 70 cents on that. Okay? Give or take, because it's different depending on where the tip's coming from and stuff. But then, they've changed it now, that if you tip me $1, now I only make 50 cents. Like, half of that dollar tip is gone. All right? So, what I did last year is I adjusted the tips threshold so that the minimum tip is $1.30. So that way, if you're actually trying to tip me $1, you really tip me $1. All right? And that's the minimum. So, as of this morning, I upped the minimum. It's now $1.49. So that way I cover the fee, and if you're trying to actually tip me, I actually get that $1. Okay? So, yeah, it's a big change, honestly. It is. It's a big change because people used to just tip me the $1 and think, "Oh, I'm sending Phil the $1," you know, and now it's essentially way less. It's half. You're literally sending half. So that's why I increased that threshold. It's not a huge deal for those who don't just tip $1. Like if you tip larger amounts, it doesn't matter at all. It's basically a few cents difference, or 20 cents difference on a fee. It's not a huge change. But for those who are tipping $1, it actually absolutely is a big change, because basically half of what you're tipping, I don't get. Okay? So, I just wanted to throw that out there so you guys know what's going on. I didn't want anyone to start spreading rumors or start with bullshit. And by the way, I absolutely confirmed that this is happening because I checked my PayPal transactions from yesterday, and yes, PayPal is taking way more out with this fee, which I didn't realize. So, all the tips I've been getting for the last, week, I've been getting less, and I didn't realize that at first, and now I did, thanks to this viewer who notified me overnight. So, thank you very much to the person who wrote me that email to tell me about it, because I had no idea that this had gone into effect, and I was being negatively affected by it, okay? Alright, so, it's not a huge deal in reality. Just please be aware if you are going to tip. Alright? It's a $1.49 threshold, so that way actually $1 comes through. Okay? Alright. Moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a few things I want to talk about today. Alright? First of all, excuse me. You know, it really, how can I explain this? It really irks me when I go through something, all right, and then I see other people who are being negatively affected in other ways by kind of the same thing, and it really pisses me off. And what I'm seeing right now is that quite a lot of people on Twitch are having issues streaming over there. In particular, those who are in a certain community who basically, they feel marginalized and they're trying to get attention on Twitch, but they're actually being constantly harassed on Twitch because they're in a marginalized community. All right? Personally, I know what it's like to be harassed for no fucking good reason. All right? And certainly I don't see myself as marginalized in any way, shape, or form. I'm an adult white male. I'm not in any minority or anything like that. All right? That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm basically trying to say is I have firsthand seen what mobilized harassment can do to a person as well as a channel and a business. Not only can it negatively affect your content that you're putting out, but it also can wear you down as a person. You know what I'm saying? It's something that definitely can long-term eat away at you. When you're just trying to have a good time, putting on an entertaining stream that's free for a viewing public, right? And you have a community of people who like what you do. That's why you do it. Because they come back every day to chill with you and have a good time, and you feel like what you do has meaning. But then every day you've got a group of shitheads who come in and make it their determined focus to ruin your fun, to ruin that kind of positivity and content that you want to put out there on the internet to make people's lives better, right? I understand how shitty that feels, and I totally understand how disheartening it can be when you're streaming on a site like Twitch, and Twitch claims that they are the best place to stream, that they have all these things that they're doing to improve and everything, but in reality, at the end of the day, Twitch just doesn't give two shits about you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that sadly there's some people who they have this misconception that, oh, I can make it big on Twitch. I can really create this big, unique community of people on Twitch, and I can do this awesome thing. But then they run into these roadblocks. They run into online trolling, and they run into harassment, and then they try to get help from Twitch, and Twitch just doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. You know what I mean? Now, by the way, I'm not saying that any other company is better. I'm not here to say, oh, one platform is better than another or whatever. I'm not. But what I'm here to say is I feel for these people who have a hashtag going on Twitter today, hashtag Twitch do better, because they're just trying to have a good time, and they deserve to be able to have the same good time as everyone else, and instead they're getting harassed constantly online because of the kind of person that they are, They're unique, they're different. Like I said, they feel like they're marginalized content creators, and they're being attacked by basically a mob. And that's not fucking right, man. It's just not right at all. Okay? Well, I could give you a little bit of background of what's going on over there. Twitch, essentially, in the last couple of years, has tried to promote themselves as this is the place you can go if you are marginalized. So, for example, if you're part of the LGBTQ community, right? If you're transgender, right? None of that matters on Twitch. Come over and make content and you're going to be safe, right? But actually, that's not the case. Twitch has really done absolutely nothing to protect these people from mobs of online harassment. In fact, one of the things that Twitch did in the last year that kind of made my jaw drop is they added all these new categories of tags on their site to categorize yourself into one of these communities, which is great, except when they did that, it had exactly the opposite effect of what they thought would happen. So Twitch thought, oh, if we add all these new hashtags that people can tag their streams with, they'll now be able to be found in search, and people who want to look for that kind of content will be able to, you know, search it out and find it, and they'll get more viewers and they'll get more attention, and this is a good thing. In reality, here's what ended up happening. These shithead scumbag mobs of people who harass those kind of people used those hashtags to weaponize their hate. They started purposely searching for those people on Twitch and had hate mobs come onto their streams and just drop disgusting, toxic crap on them right in the middle of them trying to put out a positive stream for their viewing audience. Twitch has done absolutely, positively nothing to help this. Since they dropped those hashtags, they just don't care. They're like, our job is done. We created the hashtags for you. See you later. Oh, well, you got problems? Oh, well. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. If you're in that community and you want to get noticed, do you chance using these hashtags and then have a bunch of scumbags come and basically ruin your stream? Now, the other thing that's really messed up about all of this is that in the last few years, Twitch has very much increased the severity of punishment and the enforcing of their rules for the streamers on their site, okay? And here's what I mean about this. For example, as a content creator or a broadcaster on Twitch, you have to walk on eggshells. Eggshells. When you're broadcasting over there, to make sure you don't say something that either is considered, oh my God, that's bigoted, or oh my God, that's hate speech, or oh my God, that's something that's considered too risque for basically the liberal thought pattern of those who run Twitch, okay? In addition to that, you have to make sure that what you say, even if you don't intend it in a way that could be construed that way, you have to make sure that what you say cannot be misconstrued or twisted to mean something else, because Twitch does not care. They'll still hold it against you. All right? Like, you can actually have someone come onto your stream and wish you death. And if you go to that person and say, oh, well, you look funny, like you make fun of how they look, Twitch will punish you for that. Twitch actually doesn't care that someone comes on your stream and harasses you. They care if you do something wrong. Okay? That's kind of messed up in my opinion. And I know because that's happened to me, where I had people coming to my stream, insulting me, derailing my stream, being nasty to me. I would respond in a self-defense manner and essentially razz on that person, and then I got punished for it. You know, I got suspended one time for saying, oh, you referenced how that guy looks and made fun of him, so now you're suspended for a day. It's like, what? Wait a minute. This guy literally came to my stream to shit on me. He is the wrongdoer. This would be the equivalent of someone walking into your business. Like, let's say you owned a sandwich shop, and a guy walks into your sandwich shop and says, this shop sucks ass. Everyone here's lazy. They use nasty components that are bad and expired, and you're going to get sick if you eat here. And they're just saying this in the middle of your shop in the middle of a busy day with customers. So you walk up to him and you say, hey, you ugly motherfucker, get the fuck out of my shop because you look like a Muppet. All right? That's the equivalent of what you do. Guess what? On Twitch, you get in trouble for doing that. You broke Twitch's terms of service because you just insulted someone. They could do whatever they want, and, you know, you're responsible then for moderating them, getting them out of your chat. But if you say something in retaliation, you're at fault on Twitch. Right? How the hell does that make any fucking sense? Seriously. How? To me, that's like Twitch does not give two shits about the people who broadcast on their site. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't. And I feel bad for this community of people who are being unfairly targeted because they're different. And now they have to put up with this disgusting, toxic shit. And Twitch just doesn't care about them. I'm just being honest. Like, my feeling is that Twitch just doesn't care. Because if they did, if Twitch actually cared about anything on their site, they would have maybe put in an iota of effort to try to improve or fix things, instead of just doing these little band-aids and or these little feel-good moments to pretend like they care about stuff, when in reality they don't. Okay? So, I actually this morning, as I was kind of turning on my stream, I saw this trend going on Twitter. Alright? And I just couldn't believe it, because so many people were chiming in with this hashtag. Over 1,000 people and growing were chiming in with this hashtag. And they're like, look at this. Here's a clip of my stream. People came and harassed me. Look at this. Here's a clip of my stream where I defended myself and I got in trouble. Wow. So I posted up a thread on Twitter about my thoughts about this. And I'm going to read it to you guys because I feel like it's important to share my own personal take and experience on this, being that I was a full-time streamer on Twitch for almost 5 years until they decided to do a completely unfair action towards me with zero justification, which is how they operate over there now. Alright? So here's what I said. Said, for those who are tweeting hashtag Twitch do better, I hear you, but understand that this company does not care about you. A thread. Twitch's primary focus is game streaming, but they didn't even put any effort into upping the bitrate that you can broadcast at in a year since the launch of the Xbox Series X and PS5 consoles. Twitch claims to care about harassment and making their business a safe space for content creators, but they've actually done nothing at all to combat targeted hate. Instead, what they did is made their criteria for suspension broader so that you have to watch what you say on your own streams, not the trolls. Twitch added a bunch of hashtags to pretend like it cared about marginalized communities, which is great, except it just makes you even more of a target for hate. They made zero effort to actually combat said hate, and they act like it isn't their problem while they rake in everyone's profits. At the same time that those hashtags were actually added to the site, Twitch literally promoted sexualized content where minors are exposed to hot tub and ASMR streamers for massive profits. It took an outpouring of internet criticism for a couple of months for them to actually take action and do anything about those streams, so their priorities are pretty clear. And lastly, Twitch has been performing a shadow banning campaign for about a year, where if you're a target of any kind of online harassment, they'll just remove you from their partner program with any kind of notice or justification at all. They just do it. They'll use blanket generalizations and statements to kick you out with no clear evidence of wrongdoing. They'd much rather remove you from their business model if you're labeled as some kind of a problematic streamer, even if it's by your own haters, and you have no way to retaliate against them besides maybe suing them on your own. They can 100% steal your livelihood out from under you, and they don't care how it affects you in any way, shape, or form. If one of the above isn't enough reason for you to realize that Twitch is not a safe space to stream, and in reality, not even a good place to do business in general, then I wish you the best of luck, but hey, I moved on for a very good reason, and I feel that you should too, so good luck. So, the thing is here, I really feel bad about the people who want to just be having exactly what everyone else has, right? There's absolutely no fucking reason why someone shouldn't be able to have a fun stream on Twitch without online targeted harassment. Twitch doesn't give a fuck. That's why I'm gone. And I mean that too, like, if there's a mistake that's made by a business or whatever, alright, let's do what we can to correct that mistake, right? Let's see what we can do to fix it. Fine. But when you have a business that over and over and over and over is showing signs of degrading and going down the wrong path, I mean, in a short period of time, right? Twitch proved they just did not care about so many things that were very directly important to the very people who use their site on a daily basis and make them their money. They didn't care about upping the bitrate so that when the new consoles came out, people could actually do higher quality streams. They didn't care about the online harassment at all. In fact, they made it harder for you to broadcast by making the criteria more strict for the broadcaster rather than actually helping them combat the people coming to harass them in the first place. And the whole shadow banning thing is just out of fucking control, right? If they, they proved that they could do anything they want and they feel that they are above any kind of criticism or any kind of repercussions whatsoever, okay? Just so you guys know, they're not. They're not. They're not immune to the laws, and they're not immune to the morality of the internet as well. Even if they feel like they're legally okay, doesn't mean that they're doing the right thing, okay? But even in that case, they may not even be legally in the okay, all right? I gave you guys this example before, all right? And I'll give you the example again. Many years ago, there was a streamer who was playing Counter-Strike Go, and he was accused of being part of a ring of, like, online gambling where kids were basically trying to put money into sweepstakes or whatever to win skins for the game and stuff like that. He was accused of doing it, and he was actually not only kicked out of Twitch's partner program, but he was banned from the site. Outright, he was banned, okay? He sued Twitch, and it took upwards of 5 to 6 years, but he won. It was a moral victory because he only won something like $30,000, but essentially it was a victory that meant something because it proved that Twitch is not above the law just because they have a blanket terms of service that you sign with them when you decide you're going to stream over there. It doesn't give them the right to just do whatever the hell they want and kick you out of their site or their business or their partnership program just because they feel like it or they have an accusation. They have a legal responsibility to prove that what they are saying you did, you actually did. If they can't prove it, they don't have a legal leg to stand on. They can't just get rid of you. And this guy won the lawsuit, okay, because he said they had no evidence. They couldn't. I didn't do it. There's no effing way they could prove that I did it because I didn't do it. And it went million years it took to go through court, but it won. He won. All right? Because this is what people don't realize. Everyone always says, oh, it's in their terms of service. It's in their terms of service. It doesn't matter what's in a company's terms of service at all. What matters is what is actually legally enforceable in those terms of service. Right now, you could sign up for a new website that says, the terms of service say that you must abide by our code of conduct. Oh, by the way, also to use our site, you must give us your firstborn child, legally if you want to keep using the site. All right? It could actually say that in the terms of service, and you could sign it. Do you really think that that company will have a legal right to your firstborn child? Right? Of course not. The way that these terms of service work is that wherever these companies are incorporated, a lot of them are California, by the way, and I know for a fact Twitch is actually incorporated in California, okay? They have to abide by the laws of California. So they could have a terms of service that says 27 million things, and only 2 of them are legally enforceable because the rest of them are just bullshit they made up that aren't legal in California, all right? So that's what happened with this guy. He was accused of something he didn't do in the state of California. It's a law that if you're going to basically enforce a code of conduct or a disciplinary action against someone for a digital contract, you have to actually have evidence of wrongdoing. There was no evidence because he didn't do it, so after years of suing to prove it, he proved it. But the thing is, these companies essentially feel, okay, that they are above any kind of action against them because they feel that they're bigger than everyone who works for them. It's true. They are bigger. Twitch is bigger than every person under them who streams. So they feel like they can do whatever the hell they want. Look what happened to Dr. Disrespect, right? Now, do we know the full story? No. But you would think that someone of that prominence, someone who was that popular on the site, he was like, what, top 5 streamers on Twitch? They just cut the cord and tossed him to the garbage dump without ever having to justify what they did. Okay? That's pretty fucked up. And that's the point I'm making is, do you really want to be on a site like that? Now, can you imagine, on top of all of this stuff we're talking about, now you're in a marginalized community. You're already a target for hate groups and shit on the internet. And you're just trying to have fun and be yourself and have what you would consider to be a safe space on your own stream. It's not like you're venturing out and trying to mess with other people. You're just doing your own thing on your own stream. And because Twitch did such boneheaded fucking things in the last year, it actually made you more of a target. And now you actually have focused hate groups coming to these streams to hate on you when you're just trying to have a fun time. Holy fuck, man. So it really blows me away. It does. That you know, people, here's the other thing too, like, it really, like, makes me wonder why people think the internet is such a safe space to begin with, because it's really not. You know what I mean? Like, so many people on a daily basis go out on the internet and they put up all their personal information everywhere. They post up personal shit on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, on all these social media sites. And they don't realize how much of that shit can be mobilized against them on a daily basis. They just don't get it. And then these messed up people, right, come out of the woodwork to make their lives miserable, right? And it's fucked up. It's absolutely not acceptable what's going on right now. The internet in general, has passed the point of, how can I say, enforceability and accountability. There's no one to go out there and make sure that there's no wrongdoing on the internet at all. You go talk to your local police, all right? Just go to your local police department and have a friendly conversation with an officer at the front desk about online crime and enforcement. And what you're going to find, all right, is that the vast majority of police departments on the planet do not have any kind of online enforcement at all. In fact, I've had a couple conversations with my local law enforcement about various things. You know, over the years, being a content creator, you tend to want to be on the safe side, and I've had conversations with police here about swatting, among other things. And one of the conversations that I had with them was, I'm just curious, you know, do you guys have any kind of online enforcement team, right? Do you guys have anything for anything like that? And essentially, their attitude is as follows, okay? If there's some kind of crazy human trafficking going on, and there's evidence of it, yeah, they'll look into that, and they can try to take care of that. Of course, usually they'll team up with the FBI for something like that. All right? If you get concrete death threats against you on the internet, like someone says they're coming to kill you at this date and this time, and they're going to do this to you and your family, and fucked up stuff like that, you know, direct insults, direct threats and stuff like that, then they'll try to help as much as they can. Not to say that they can do that much, because essentially someone who sends you a death threat likely is not stupid enough to send it from their personal email address that you can track them and find out who they are. You know what I'm saying? In general, people aren't that stupid. If they're going to do stuff like that, they usually try to do it anonymously. Anyway. Excuse me. But if you can actually show, you know, your local police, hey man, someone has it out for me. Is there any way you can help me? They'll do what they can to help you, as much as within reason, okay? But in general, law enforcement doesn't have anything that they can do about crime online or harassment online at all. There's just nothing. Even though you would say, now wait a minute, let me get this straight. Someone can steal my identity. Someone can actually do direct threats to me constantly online. Someone can break the law constantly online over and over and over and do things. There's no repercussions and no way to hold them accountable. And the answer is no. Our technology has advanced so far that we have all these horrible things that can happen to you simply for having an online presence, but we have not had any protection put up to protect people from that wrongdoing. You see what I'm saying? Just to give you some perspective here, the FBI will get involved if there is an ongoing chronic problem that can be quantified. And here's what I mean by that. Let's say, for example, there's evidence that someone has stolen credit cards and has been racking up money against these stolen credit cards for a series of years. That's, you know, hitting a certain monetary value. And I'm not talking like a couple $100. I'm probably talking tens of thousands of dollars. All right. If that could be quantified, then maybe you could get the FBI to possibly have an agent glance over a case. You know what I'm saying? But it's so rare that they would actually put time and effort into any of the kind of crap that we deal with on a daily basis online. There's just no protection for it, you know? And so for me, I look at the internet as it is today, and I see the shit that happens to me and my family, right? And I just shake my head saying, I can't believe these no-lifers and everything. But I'm, quite frankly, not even, like, considered a primary target of harassment of those online who get harassed. You know what I'm saying? Like, my God. Can you imagine if I was in one of these marginalized communities where there's targeted hate groups that come after them on a constant basis for no valid fucking reason? And then you got Twitch saying, oh, well, we added the hashtags, man. Oh, well, what do you want us to do? We're too busy rolling in the dough for the giant cut of money that we make out of everything on the fucking site. We don't have time to listen to you. So, it's just a pretty messed up situation, man, right? It is. It's a pretty messed up situation. And I feel for these people, and I just feel bad because they've basically had the wool pulled over their eyes. They thought that Twitch was a safe place. It's not at all. Not even close. It's not even a safe place for those who are doing nothing wrong and for those who aren't in a marginalized community and aren't a target. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a safe space for anyone at all. And then Twitch tried to fool these people into thinking that if they went there, that they could not, oh, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Unreal. Essentially, you're putting yourself, if you go to Twitch and you stream, all right? And I feel, and I mean this too, I feel that if you're in one of these marginalized community and you're streaming on Twitch, you're essentially making yourself a target because Twitch has actively done nothing to help. And these groups have now created themselves, you know, oh, I'm going to search for that tag or whatever. So you may have the best of intentions and you're just putting yourself right into harm's way because Twitch doesn't care. And that's fucked up because Twitch told you otherwise, right? Oh, man. And again, I'm definitely not saying that other places are better or worse. That's not what I'm saying. The point I'm making here is that Twitch is the company that went out there out of their way to claim that they were the best place. We're the safest place. We're actively doing this and this and this. They're not doing shit. They don't give two fucks. They just want to make as much money as they can. It's just like most other company. There's a you know what they say? There's the devil you know and the devil you don't. The devil you know, like YouTube. I know YouTube's not perfect, okay? I know YouTube has tons of flaws. I'm well aware of this. But it's the devil I know. I've been on YouTube for 13 years. I know what stuff they can screw with on a daily basis. I generally know what to expect being on YouTube full time. But Twitch is like that dishonest devil, you know? Oh, everything's good. That silver tongue. They lie in your ear directly to you to make you feel like everything's good. And then the worst happens. And you're like, you know, I should have known better. I should have known not to trust them. But you get fooled, you know? So anyway, guys, that's just what I wanted to talk about on pre-stream today. I saw this hashtag on Twitter, and I'm like... The other thing I want to talk about very briefly, EVO Online is currently going on, and although, I'm happy for people who love competitive fighting games and are actually getting a major tournament this year because there was none last year because of COVID, EVO Online is basically a big bust. For anyone who's actually looking for, like, high-level competitive play, all you got to do is watch some of these matches and the lag that's affecting them. I'm sure these players are livid at some of the situations that have been happening at this tournament. Games crashing or running like shit. Just in general lag. And the thing is, they tried to compartmentalize it into regions to try to reduce the lag, and it still didn't even work. Like, it's pretty bad, man. And I'm watching, there was a video that was put out that the official EVO Twitter, okay, tweeted this last night. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you could ever have seen some kind of an attempt to hype something up that is not hype at all. This is it. All right, so it's basically the final match of Street Fighter V for the North American EVO qualifying. I don't even know if they're going to do like a finals where people who qualify from each region will fight each other, because I get the internet was probably going to be so bad there's no way that they're going to be able to do it anyway. Okay? But anyway, I'm watching the match, and it's two players who obviously are quite good. I think one of them's name is IDOM, and the other guy's name is Punk the God. They're both quite good. You can see that they have, they know exactly what they're doing. They know combo setups. They know stuff. They know their ins and outs of the game. Not taking anything away from the play level of these players. But I will absolutely criticize this fucking game and this tournament. You watch the match, and here's what EVO tweets out. IDOM is your EVO 2021 champion with an emphatic delayed frame trap to seal the final round. And then you watch the video. And in the video, what you see is he's playing as a character named Poison, who has a whip character. She has a ranged attack with a whip. And essentially, it's laggy. So what he's doing is he's throwing out the whip, high, low, hoping that his opponent will jump into it because of lag, not reacting to anything the opponent is doing, but actually just saying, man, I know I'm playing online. I know this game lags to fuck. Let me just throw a ton of moves out and hope the guy walks into them, okay? Then at the end of the round, he dashes up to the guy as the guy is waking up. For those who don't know what that means, waking up means like you got grounded, you fell down, you're getting up off the ground. And this creates a certain kind of a setup in Street Fighter, okay? So what he does is he walks up and he waits. His opponent doesn't do anything, okay? So he presses punch. Oh, it actually randomly hit. So he presses punch again, does a combo and wins, okay? It's called guessing. That's all it is. He's playing online. He has absolutely no idea what the opponent's going to do because of the lag. So he says, what the fuck? There's a move with Poison that's pretty safe. It's a normal. If it hits, it's a hit confirm into it. I can press the button again and do a super and I win the match. I'll do it. It's incredibly low risk, incredibly high reward. That's the actual description of Street Fighter V. Incredibly low risk, incredibly high reward is exactly how the game is played, and that's why the game fucking sucks. Okay? It's just terrible. It's unlike other Street Fighter games up to this point, alright? This game is nothing like any competitive Street Fighter because the whole game is just safe mode bullshit. That's why I say it's like baby zone bullshit. It's kid zone stuff. Nothing there is hard to execute at all. It's just a bad game, in my opinion. You can disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. All right? But what's hilarious about this is that literally the end of this match, the end of the North American Street Fighter V tournament is, well, we're both standing next to each other doing absolutely nothing in lag, so I'll just press the button and see what happens. Oh, it hit! Hit again combo, I win. And then the fucking EVO account tweets out, that was an emphatic delayed frame trap. What? The fuck are you even talking about? What? An emphatic delayed frame trap. The EVO account, the Twitter account, doesn't even know what it's tweeting. What are you talking about? A delayed frame trap? The dude just pressed a random button when he was next to him because they were both standing there doing nothing. And you happen to get lucky and hit, and he said, oh, okay, I'll combo and win. There was no frame trap. This is the official EVO account tweeting this stupid shit. This is what I mean. Like, the common person who doesn't play games competitively reads that and thinks this game is good and hype it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is like the most basic gameplay that I've ever seen in a competitive Street Fighter game, and they hype it up like it's some fucking high-level rocket science brainiac shit. It's terrible gameplay, okay? And what's funny to me about stuff like that is, essentially, you guys know the most hype moments that have ever happened in, like, Street Fighter, right? Like, think about that EVO moment that we all think about, when it was Justin Wong against Daigo in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. You guys remember this moment, I'm sure, right? The famous parry moment. This is when Justin Wong was playing with Chun-Li, and Daigo was playing with Ken, okay? And it's a high-level match, the end of a tournament, high-level match, okay? What happens in the matchup? Well, Daigo essentially has almost no health left, okay? Almost none. So Justin, spur of the moment, using very smart thinking, okay? Not, oh, I'm just going to throw out a random fucking move and hope it hits. Very smart thinking says, Daigo has almost no health at all. I have one of the most overpowered super moves in the entire game. It activates nearly instantly. It's incredibly hard to do anything against because it hits so many times. And it's so fast, it's almost impossible to get out of the way of. Since Daigo has no energy left, he can't block this move. If I do it, he will get chipped to death, essentially. He can block and lose health per hit and die. Okay? So, I'm going to do this move, point blank, in his fucking face. He's going to block it. It's going to chip him to death. Game over. I win. This is the smart move to do. So this is big brain thinking. This is Justin Wong thinking huge you know, how this game is played, high-level competitive thought. I got to throw this out there because it's going to chip him to death, right? And he has no way he's going to get out of the way. It's called risk-reward. He thinks I have low risk, high reward here because this is Chun-Li and this is the character. Daigo says, fuck all that shit. I'm Daigo, the Beast, and I am going to defy all conventions of fighting games. I am going to prove to you that risk-reward means nothing when you have skill. So Justin Wong activates the super, and Daigo proceeds to parry the entirety of the super. Every hit perfectly timed, which means there's no chip damage. It's incredibly hard to do. Normally, he's doing it at the end of a tournament in the finals on the fly. In addition to that, he adjusts his parry timing to interrupt and jump in the middle of the super so that he can now do a combo with Ken that deals just enough damage to kill Justin's Chun-Li, and he wins the fight. Okay? The reason this is an EVO moment is because it's insane high-level gameplay from two people who are thinking at an incredibly high intelligence level of what they're going to do in this game. It also proves that if you have incredibly high skill level with hand-eye coordination like Daigo does, all right, that you can overcome the odds. Low risk, high reward, fuck that. That low risk is still a risk, and let me show you why it's a risk, because I'm going to prove to you that I'm the best. And he fucking proved it. That moment will never be forgotten because it's one of the most unlikely high skill moments you'll ever see in a Street Fighter tournament, okay? Compare that to the North American finals of Street Fighter V. Oh, we're both standing next to each other in lag, and I don't know if he's going to do anything, so let me press a button. Oh, it hit! Press the button, super, I win. Oh, okay. But that's, again, according to the EVO fucking Twitter, right? EVO Twitter says, oh my god, it's a delayed frame trap. What are you talking about? Jesus Christ. Could you be any more fucking, like, dishonest about your own event? Like, what are you talking about, man? There wasn't even a frame trap. They don't even understand what a frame trap is. There was no frame trap. It was, I walk up, no one's doing anything. Let me just toss a button and see if it hits. Oh, it did. Okay, combo, I win. Unbelievable. So, all that being said, my friends, I definitely hope that the next Street Fighter that comes out can redeem this fucking series. Because every single time that I watch Street Fighter V at any kind of a competitive level, I'm not kidding, it turns my stomach. I get a stomach ache watching it. I'm like, I can't believe this is what Street Fighter became. You went from this high level, you know, on reaction kind of gameplay where people had to really think out what they were doing. Just, you know what I mean? Like, to this casualized drivel. And again, I'm not taking anything away from the players. In fact, I would say this. Those guys yesterday, you're playing an online tournament, dude. That's got to be one of the most stressful situations you could be put into. Because at any moment, you could lose because the game drops an input. At any moment, you can lose because the game delays what you did. And that's not your fault. That online component is bullshit. We do not have good enough internet to be holding worldwide giant fucking online tournaments, man. The internet is not good enough. That drives me nuts because you know these players are great and you know they'd probably be doing way better stuff in person and they can't now because of COVID. It's like, Jesus, man. So anyway, that's the deal with what's going on with me on Twitter over the past day. That's my pre-stream. Let's quickly do some shout-outs. All right, we start off with, let's do the super chats first. Let's see here. We've got Fergo, who did a $2 or £2 super chat. Remember, no mentioning this during gameplay. What are you talking about? Any of the pre-stream stuff? Usually I don't. Usually it's only if people bring up stuff from the pre-stream during my gameplay streams, then I'll bring it up. But in general, I don't. That's why I hold the pre-stream, to get this stuff out of the way. And then Monk did a pound super chat. Thank you, Monk. Let's get that on the leaderboard because this is the latest super chat. And by the way, change this back to last super chat, not top super chat. Monk. Oops, that's not Monk. Monk. There we go. Let's get to tips here. We start off with Romy Rowe, who tipped me $1.49. And yes, it's going to be $1.49 moving forward, as I told you guys, because I upped the minimum because, sadly, they upped the fees, okay, on PayPal. So Romy Rowe with the first tip of the day. And he says, Hellblade just got a next-gen upgrade for the Xbox Series consoles. It runs at 4K, 60 frames per second, and ray tracing. Wondering if it's worth playing and how long is it? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The game had amazing visuals on just base Xbox One, so I can't imagine how good this game will look on the Series X at a higher frame rate. It has gameplay that's not necessarily the most unique ever, but it's at least, you know, acceptable. But also, you know, the combat is okay. The puzzles are interesting. The game is full of puzzles, and that's kind of what blew me away, is that it had these interesting puzzles in it. It wasn't just combat. The plot is unique, but at the same time, don't expect to fully understand it, because it is about a woman who supposedly is suffering from mental illness. It's very hard to tell what's real and what's not in this game. It's very possible that nothing in the game is real at all. That the whole thing's in her head, you know? As for the length, I don't remember. I remember it's not an incredibly short game, but you'd have to check out, like, you know, how long to beat and stuff like that. I don't remember. I did a full playthrough of it, and I really liked it. And I do recommend it. Okay? Snow Carl took me $1.49, complaining, saying I already had it at $1.30, and other streamers only have it at $1. Now I'm going to lower it again, blah, 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 blah. All right, no. Thank you for the tip, Snow Carl. If you don't want to tip because you're not okay with the 49-cent fee, I totally understand, and that's your right. But I'm telling you, I'm doing it for a reason. So that way it's not someone tipping me $1 and me literally getting less than 50 cents, because that's what it would be. If you tip me $1 and I don't do this, I would get less than 50 cents per dollar that's tipped. So, no, I'm not doing that. Again, if you don't like that, that's fine. You don't have to tip. Alberto Ponte tipped me $2.50 and said, so this covers it. Right. If you're tipping a larger amount, then that fee isn't that big of a deal. You see what I'm saying? But can you imagine trying to tip someone and finding out less than half of what you tipped actually went to the person? And that's the situation now with PayPal with these new fee structure. So that's why I'm doing the $1.50 instead of, you know, the $1.30 like I was. Okay? Fair enough? Fair enough? Okay. Alright, does anyone else have anything else they would like to talk about? Or shall we take a break here for me to use the restroom and then come back and get started with the medium? And by the way, as I stated earlier on in the pre-stream, okay, I will be doing a poll live during this stream to determine what I play later tonight, either PUBG or the Halo Master Chief Collection, okay? One or the other will be played. I'll be asking you guys directly what it is that you want. And based on your direct feedback, that's going to determine what we end up doing here, okay? So I'm going to wait, because I'm going to go on break. I'm going to come back from break, and then we're going to figure out, you know, what exactly it is that you guys want, and go from there, okay? I hope that sounds good to you. Fair enough? Okay. Alright, guys. Let's take a break. I'll be back in a few with the medium. Alright? Alright. I'll thank you guys. I'll see you in a few.